Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Ko-Fi, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Playing Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMails24, Unimento, M926, Endless, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, Michael Kahn, John K. Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Harry Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show. Hello.
Who's that?
Okay then. Well, hello.
Hey, Nathan, I just wanted to ask you a question about yesterday's show. I think we had some real good points that we don't usually touch on, but we had some real good points. I think you and was it Brian or Adam? I don't know. I get these two people mixed up. But
That's racist.
I think what was that?
What do you
What was
got,
that?
Gene?
Can you guys hear me?
What do you got, Gene? Come with it.
Oh yeah, I was saying about yesterday's shows where the guy that took on 10 flat earthers or something like that, he kept saying, "Why should I care?" Or, I'm a practical guy. And he goes, "But why? Why should I care?" And I think Nathan nailed it. Neil, you had a longer explanation, but Nathan just came in with "Yeah, I don't care." Like I don't care, and I think that was good. And then also Brian had another very good point. I was wondering if we
Hold
could
on.
read.
Just stop. Whoa. When you say I said I don't care, what you're referring to me suggesting that whether or not he knows or not, and how inconsequential that is to me, therefore I don't care. Is that what you mean?
Oh, I don't know. You confused me there, but I think so. Neil had a big rant about it, like why should you care, something like that, and then you just popped in with "Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what what your beliefs are, if I do or if I care that you are not a flat earth or something like that." And then Brian also had a very good point as well. I was wondering if he could reiterate that, just like have that in the video, because those were very good points. And also Neil had a very good explanation,
Hold on. That sounds
but
wrong too.
I can't find it.
Are you absolutely sure about that?
About what?
You said Brian. He said he had a good point.
What about? Yeah, I do believe he had a good point, Brian.
We'll have to check this out.
I'm trying to think of what I'm scrubbing through the episode and I can't seem to find that part.
You're not going to find a part with Brian had a good point. I think you're making this up.
Gene, do you get
Hooey.
it
We
when
call it
Nathan's
hooey.
taking the piss out of him?
I can't remember that part. I'm looking for it. It was a good little point, but I felt that was off sleep.
Yeah, it was so good. You can't remember it.
But yes, that guy was pretty unbearable, saying, "Well, why should I care? Why should I care?" People were like, "Well, you're here asking questions, bro." So I don't know. Then Nathan
Brian,
popped in.
Brian
I
I
was,
see what you're saying.
Brian was saying he does care.
Brian was the contrapositive of me saying, who cares? Nobody gives a crap if you know it's flat or not. Makes no difference to whether or not we're navigating it flat, we are. Building on it flat, we are. Charting it flat, we are. Measuring the stars with it, we are. Heights off the surface level. Yeah, all of that's consequential to whether or not it's flat. But if you're the one doing those things, then it's consequential, as Brian kept pointing out, because I'm like, who cares? He's like, well, it cares. Brian was saying, I care if something consequential is going on. If we're practically applying something and they don't care, the one saying who cares, then there's a problem because we're doing something practical. They better bleeding care. It's flat and they better deal with it. Such a we'll all be dead. That's the point Brian was making. And I'm like, yeah, I felt that I'd already peppered it with that. It's just he doesn't listen to my disclaimers because they come out on me so frequently. Like when I'll say charting, navigating, building on, I'm listing off all the things that would make it consequential, but Brian just doesn't hear them anymore. And that is a genuine criticism as opposed to me just laughing about Brian not having a point. Brian often has good points. Most of my good points currently have come from Brian. My demeaning of him is just me having a jab because he's a mate. I tried to make that point in a video I made earlier today while I was at my kids' gymnastics class, right? Anyway.
I don't know why we have to explain when you take a piss out of somebody. It's obvious.
Yeah. Right, you'd hope it is. Started getting in my adverts. People have started making videos about me again.
And also about that thing, like that's I think that's a question we have. We ran across it a lot of times, but now I don't know. I thought the dude was unbearable. I left a comment saying like, "Bro, why you keep saying you don't care?" And he said, "No, let's not get into the weeds." Or like, that's not how I know how carburetor's made, but we don't need to learn about that. I don't know. I just thought that was very strange and condescending.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's like going into a Bigfoot discussion forum and saying, I don't care about any of this Bigfoot nonsense. It's really silly. I don't care about any of it. It's like, well, what the bloody hell are you doing here then? I want you not to care about it. Okay.
What I put in the comments was share your pain, Globey, share your pain.
Exactly. You're getting it.
Wasn't Brian saying it absolutely does matter to him?
Yeah, for practical application. And he's right.
No, I'm talking about the guy that says he doesn't care. Like, what's the difference? He actually does care. That's why he's sitting in there. It does matter to him because it's got to be a sphere to him.
Exactly. That's what we're currently talking about on an almost daily basis at the moment. That projected, call it inquisitive nature of people in general, but also the fear in that inquisitive person as it emerges leads them to project that inquisitive nature onto a third party and then make demands of them to explain things because suddenly it's their responsibility. Well, no, that person's inquiring mind has led them to ask questions about the nature of their reality. And while they're asking those questions, they should just accept that they're asking them. Be at peace with that, right? Now, unfortunately, we aren't, I say we collectively, aren't at peace with these things and therefore need scapegoats and, little straw men, metaphorically and literally, to burn. I say literally, I mean literal straw men in context, right? Not like men that are made of straw. That's not what I mean by literally.
Well,
Yeah.
I take it back to when it was first presented to me and how I fought against it because really I wanted it to be a sphere. How could I be wrong about this? How could everybody be wrong about this? Because what's happening psychologically, you're flipping out. At least I was. Because everything goes through your mind. Like even when you were questioning how they say water sticks to it by spinning a bucket around when you're in school. Everything comes flooding through your brain. And the first instinct is fight against it. At least for me, it was.
Mine was to burst out laughing in relief.
Yeah, my reaction was more akin to that. Yeah, mine was more similar. As in, that's hilarious. And, I actually physically went and woke my wife up and told her Earth's flat. It was one of sort of, wow, I can't believe it, uplifting joy. I don't think I actually burst out laughing. But you know what I mean? That was my sentiment. That's how I felt. It felt joyous. It didn't feel like, oh no, the world is end. Where's a scapegoat I can project this on as his issue with his flat earth that he thinks it is or she thinks it is? Where is that boy or girl I can project this onto immediately? That wasn't my feelings.
I got a question. Do you think flat Earth is the ground zero of conspiracy theories?
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy at all. It's the opposite.
Yes
The
and no.
globe is a conspiracy.
Yes, it's a conspiracy in the way that the Feast of Nonsense portrays flat earthers in society. So we are deemed the numpties and conspiratards of the world. And having lots of craziness associated with flat earth rather than just the facts of earth being measured flat is how they make us be the mother of all conspiracies, because all of that necessity to make us idiots in the mind's eye of the general public is masking the fact that earth is measured flat. So yes and no. No for the reasons Neil gave, which I won't reiterate. Neil did a perfectly admirable job.
I was in politics before. There's like two people there, and he was stonewalling me. Well, it was dead silent. I don't know if anybody was there, but Crit was there. And I was calling on Crit.
I like the part where QE said, "No, we only speculate on Sundays."
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It's because the guy was saying, "Well, is there any speculation that what would the container bearing be?" I was like, "Jelly beans." I was screaming, "Jelly beans!"
I still don't know what that means.
Jelly beans.
QE, whenever we was told what the ferment, what was the container called, and we were saying like, "Well, it doesn't matter. It's a container." He goes, "Well, what is that container made out of?" or something like that. And he asked for speculation.
That's fair enough. I mean, it's a perfectly reasonable question to ask. It's just the mindset of the person who's asking, right? If you're asking because you are in that situation we described earlier, the need to project your wants and concerns and fears of the world onto that third party, and then you find you ask yourself, what's the dome made of to me or someone else? Maybe they have made a claim about it. Then in the same vein, it's like, no, take this inward. You want to know what the container must be made of. Now, for the person it's projected onto, they then have a choice, right? In terms of how they react. They can either say, well, I don't actually know, which is the honest answer. But why even dignify it with an honest answer, or any answer, when the person is only potentially projecting on their concerns onto you? It's like, what, are you going to pay me for the research that I've done in regards to this if I was to give you the answer? That might be quite a difficult endeavour to give you an answer on. So if I was to have the answer, what would make you think I'd just give it you for free because you found out something you thought was true isn't anymore? Suddenly I've got to be the bearer of the responsibility to give you that information that might have cost me a lot of money to sort out? No. But you've got a concern about it. Go and find it out. When you find it out, you, the one asking me about what the dome's made of, when you find it out, you let me know. For free. That's why I immediately spin it back on them.
I'll
What's your dome made of? I will say to them. They're like, it's your dome. It's like, no, you're the only one talking about it. Nobody else brought it up. Nobody else mentioned it. It is ipso facto their dome. They are asking about it because they are concerned about it. The fact that they somehow managed to project it onto us, I say this in past tense, formally project this onto us. For me, I'm like, what dome? Your dome? What dome? Now you will be the bearer of this burden because you're the one who's brought it up.
And it always cracks me up how they don't catch on to that.
Hold on now.
It's like,
Hold on now. I
it's
like
like
to put it as they're asking for cotton candy at a hot dog stand.
Because you're paying for the cotton candy if the guy's got it under the counter.
Give it me the cotton candy, goddammit, at the hot dog stand. Give me the damn cotton candy.
when they turn around and say, What do you mean? It's your dome. You're the only one that said dome. We just say you need containment.
I don't even go around saying that. There's idiots that come to me that start putting, like recently, here's Katy Perry out in space. What, a sky vacuum? No, she's not. You need containment for the gas pressure we're all breathing.
Oh, some updated news on that. Katy Perry and Bezos were filmed. I mean, they have pictures of them going into a Hollywood studio multiple times.
So? Outer space is fake. There's no sky vacuum. There's an assertion that we're breathing high-pressure gas that's not dispersing into an area 10 to the minus 17 torr. The black bit they think is a vacuum that they're showing you that no one's talking about. It's whether or not they're going into a studio. What, on the ground? Or opening a door? What, on the ground? There's no sky vacuum. The sky is not a vacuum. It's not 10 to the minus 17. There's no space. Outer space is fake. That's the real magic trick going on. Who gives a shit what Kate Perry and Bezos do? I don't care. The point of the magic trick is for you to not look at the black bit and go, I wonder if that's real, as they're looking down on high-pressure gas that's alleged to be not dispersing into the area above them, 10 to the minus 17 torr. A bleeding vacuum, you say? Au contraire, no. Now, whether or not they went up and came down again, I couldn't give a toss. Inconsequential. Whether or not that black area is an area called outer space is the real argument here. It isn't. Gas fills space. What's that? I've got to tell you what the containment is. I don't give a crap what you charge me with proving. We're breathing high-pressure gas. So there's definitely not a sky vacuum. This is not my burden. I know we're breathing high-pressure gas. I'm breathing it. What's that? You say there's a sky vacuum that Katy Perry went into space? No, there is not. I have no further burden other than to debunk what they say they went into. What's that? Look at the ground. Look at the ground. They're going into a No. They claim to go to outer space. What's that? Oh, it wasn't high enough. What, the 10 to the minus 17 torr is what they're claiming to look at. The black area is claimed to be that. No, it's not. And it's not my burden to prove what it is when I'm breathing high-pressure gas that must be under containment. To be at high pressure.
That is still, to me, the best ever. That you cannot have gas pressure without containment. I'm sorry. It's the eye-opener of all eye-openers. I still think that's why that's the best. To get somebody introduced.
But gravity.
Gravity is just a word.
It certainly takes your breath away.
It takes your breath away.
The containment must be physical. Gravity cannot be a container. And gravity is just a nothing. It's the word.
I guess it's math now, isn't it? Isn't it just math?
Well, it is literally just math. Spent pseudo-geometry. That's the current gravity, at least.
I do an equation really hard. I can contain the gas if I write a really good long equation.
Well, no, you won't contain gas with the current rhetoric of gravity either. It's a bent pseudo-geometry. You can bend and warp the fabric of a fourth dimension known as space-time in that mathematics. That's not going to give rise to any force, because it isn't one. It certainly isn't a container either. It's a bent pseudo-geometry. You know, it's non-physical. Now, that bent pseudo-geometry is replacing something that had an ascribable physicality to it that is still ascribed to physical reality right up to high school level, and that's Newtonian mass attracting mass. That definitely has some physicality here, other than the fact that gas with mass doesn't attract other gases with mass. It's debunked. The behaviour of gas debunks Newtonian physicality in gravity. But the current rhetoric isn't a physical force or containment, it's a bent pseudo-geometry.
Absolutely.
How are you?
Very well.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Hello.
Hello, good to be here, good to have you all. Let's do some housekeeping. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container?
You're going to need
Where'd
that
you
container.
go?
You will need that
No,
container.
you need it. No.
Any evidence of Earth curve? Physical and geometric and measurable?
Not observable. It's not measurable.
What about axial rotation? Obviously of the Earth-based variety. We wouldn't want people showing us bicycle wheels.
We're going to need an observation of Coriolis for that. We don't have an Earth-based observation.
Coriolis effect, that would be the rotation of a non-inertial frame of reference beneath an inertial frame of reference with an object travelling straight but appearing to take a curved path from the rotation underneath it, where you're observing it. So Earth, if exhibiting this effect, would be said non-inertial turning reference frame, with us turning beneath things like the stars to cause them to appear to drift at 15 degrees an hour. Of course, this would imply that Earth is turning underneath stuff, and we'd need that to actually have some consequences in physical reality. For example, but not limited to, if Earth was turning underneath, aircraft, a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles would only take an hour and a half, because Earth would be turning underneath. Precisely as people like Wolfie, 6020, a pilot who is a proven liar, has suggested they do. He has also suggested they can counteract this with a button inside the plane. Ground control to Wolfie Clown Show. There is a man observing you from a non-inertial turning reference frame. Please make micro-adjustments to your aircraft immediately. Over. Meanwhile, Earth isn't turning underneath anything. Foucault has suggested that Earth turning underneath a pendulum would cause it to deviate at the same rate, 15 degrees an hour, as Earth turns underneath. And this is claimed to be demonstratable in the form of dominoes being knocked over, as a pendulum, which only has one motion, back and forth, is appearing to take a curved path and knock over dominoes. That would mean that the appearing to curve is caused by Earth turning underneath pendulums and gyroscopes and aeroplanes and hot air balloons and me if I jump up and down. No, it's definitely not doing that. This parlour trick that is suggested that Earth turns underneath a pendulum would be the assertion that Earth is turning underneath stuff, like the stars. And that has consequences, like shortened flight times. Now, it has been suggested that I should take on Craig McNeil, who has decided that taking on my introduction reel is favourable to joining a show for free. Now, put out a little video that explains to a former flat earther known as Ranty Flat Earth that you can pay me, if you want my time, to absolutely annihilate clown shoes idiots like Craig McNeil by demonstrably showing how their rhetoric of a turning Earth has the unfortunate need of Earth turning underneath stuff, which it definitely doesn't do, or we'd have shortened flight times and continents coming to hot air balloons as they hovered. Now, meanwhile, you can, and if you choose to, will, as some people do, join this show to debate me for free. Now, meanwhile, if you're of the inclination that you need to mute me on your own neutral platform, then you can do that for money. You can pay me. Now, if you're too poor to do that, that is okay. This is not an echo chamber. Anybody can join via the public gateways I offer. But if you want me to come to you, you will pay me. It is that simple. I've explained this in a shorts video which has been put out today. Should you decide, as the adverts are suggesting, you have the ability to get me on your show. You do. You just have to give me money. Yeah? Like if I employed a painter and decorator to come and paint my house, I would pay them for it. Yeah? somebody has skills in those areas, you'd pay them for them. Now, nobody's going to pay a painter and decorator for their YouTubing ability live or their debating skill. Nobody's going to pay that painter and decorator for that. But if you want to pay me to debate you about Earth turning underneath bleeding pendulums and rip you a new asshole on your own show, you can pay me to do it. Or if you want it for free, you can come and get it for free while I monetize my own time, in between selling microphones, which I'll get to in a moment, and writing a bleeding book about how Earth is measured flat. Now, as for the microphones, come to Arctic Constipation, or whatever he's decided to name himself. Sir, the Neumann spares or repair tube that you've suggested is a fake is not. It is an interference tube from Neumann themselves, manufactured in Germany. It is not fake. Meanwhile, I go out of my way on my eBay stores to make sure I do not sell fakes. So if you find a microphone on my store, which is described as being akin to another microphone, it's because almost without exception, every microphone is imitating something that already exists, with mild variations of those designs in terms of capsule or circuit. So everything's copying something else when it comes to bleeding microphones. Having learned a little bit about them, I can say that without any hesitation. Meanwhile, certain things that are fakes I try and avoid, and would rather buy a, for instance, Sub-Zero SM57 clone. It's not pretending to be a Shure, it's not badged Shure, it's not a fake. A fake would be something that's not made by Shure, badged Shure. I don't want that. I would rather somebody who's unabashedly saying, I am copying the Shure, and then it says in bold type on it, Sub-Zero. I do not sell fake items. Same goes for things like Warm Audio with their WA87 microphone, a clone of a Neumann. Are they selling fakes? Absolutely not. The entire microphone industry is based on everyone copying everyone else. But yet I get accused of selling fakes from China. Well, number one, lots of stuff that is proposed as being made in America is actually manufactured in China. There's nothing wrong with that. It's how good it is. That's the whole purpose of me selling them. To make ends meet while I make a book and produce YouTube videos. So I haven't got any time to deal with assholes like Ranty Flat Earth for free, but I will deal with assholes like Ranty Flat Earth, now called Auditing the Absurd, if you pay me. Now, if, as Ranty, what comes round and does my painting and decorating for free, that would be absurd, wouldn't it? So, given that Ranty's declared to an audience that he wants me without any uncertain terms being attached, he will be paying me for my time, lest he be called a cheapskate. Yeah? Because obviously I'm not going to come and do it for free, and he's declared his interest. Well, I'm very push for time, Ranty, Mr. Painter and Decorator. I'll come and listen to your boring voice for money. Meanwhile, if you come here, I can invite the people who watch my show and rip idiots who come along, like Craig the Fight the Flat Earth guy that apparently wants to sit in front of me, tell me that pendulums prove Earth's turning. Yeah, no worries, I'll rip that apart and do it on my own show for my money and I'll earn it here. Or you can pay me to do it on your shows. That's abundantly clear to anybody with half a brain, including but not limited to the people who have actually paid me to go on their shows. Yeah? Do you idiots that see me on these other shows think I just randomly decided to go on and talk to some asshole about whether or not he believes Earth is so biggy we don't need to measure it anything other than flatty? Do you think I like that? No, I haven't gone there for my fun. I got paid. Up until now, I've been abashed or slightly shy to tell people about that fact. Now it's, why the hell wouldn't I? Yeah, I've been here 10 years. People will pay me to go on their shows. You dicks that want to monetize flat earthers because you're so used to grasping for the low-hanging fruit that do part-time YouTube videos. Hello? I'm a professional flat earther. I do this for a living. I've done it for 10 years. I'm considered an expert. If you want me, you will pay me. You're not going to get away with saying, this coward doesn't want to come on my show for free so I can monetize his time. No, I'm doing perfectly fine monetizing my own time on my own show with a doorway you can walk through. It's been 10 years. You want to claim that you've ridiculed us so long and we can just move away from Nathan's show. We have told him that we don't want to be involved. You don't have to be utter cowards. Nobody is twisting your arm. Nobody is making videos suggesting that you should be on my show. I open the door. You either walk through for free or you don't. If you want my time, you pay for it. It is that simple. So I invite my audience to smash the super chat and support this channel so I can carry on doing it for another 10 years as a professional flat earther. Now, I will potentially go on these asshole shows if I will get something out of it. Like when I've got a book to publicise. Then I'll be openly coming to you. Yo, Craig McNeil, talking to you. Let's just put the camera on, put the lights on. Lights, camera, action. I will happily join you on your show under the caveat for free that I can plug my book to your audience. Hopefully I can get you to put an affiliate link under your video. That's the kind of thing I'll come on your show for free. For the ability to, first words out my mouth, say, buy my book. And then every single question that I get asked will be, well, like it says in my book that you can buy, that's what you'll get for free. Unless you're paying me, then obviously I wouldn't be so rude as to only take it as an opportunity to plug my book every 10 seconds. But if you do want me, you can have me. You just have to pay. It is that simple. I'm done.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
Wait a second. Ranty challenged you? When was this?
Put out a video saying I've suggested that I'll change my tone from something slightly less enthusiastic, slightly more monotone. If you're about to fall asleep, probably best not to listen to me imitating Ranty. I've invited Nathan to come onto my show and he's going to go and talk to Craig to fight the flat earth and he can come and do it and... Yeah. Snoozeville. Yeah, pay me. It's just that simple. Meanwhile, what Ranty doesn't appreciate is that if he actually put the 10th of the work that I do into publicising his boring, monotone videos, he could do 10 times better than I did without using me to get some clicks and views while he suggests that he could put me in front of Craig. I can contact Craig if I need him. And I'm sure he can do the same, right? He can come on my show if he likes for free while he's running his own live show and can put me on mute in his show. You guys are pathetic, suggesting that there's a mute button concern about coming on here for free. Like, was there any concern when I've gone on the other shows and they muted me? No, I recorded it and showed my audience after the fact, but I got paid to be there. Yeah? I'm not going to sit and tolerate you tossers muting me for free. Are you guys idiots? Clearly, you have got no brain. If Craig McNeil is that stupid, or Ranty Flat Earth more likely, I won't tar Craig with this brush of stupidity. I know Ranty's that dumb. Yeah, stick to blaming the mute button, Ranty, you pathetic... I won't say the word. Should I say the word?
That's a blast from the past. Unbelievable, huh?
I'll save that one. Meanwhile, yeah, you're fine, Ranty, right? I didn't particularly like you when you were on our side. I never agreed with 90% of the things you did do. You did one useful thing for me, though. You went and got that side view of the wind turbines. Very useful. That came up in conversation at the Curry House on Friday. Very handy it is, too, to describe how, no, boats going over the horizon is akin to these wind turbines that are in fixed locations at fixed distances, going over the same exact Earth curve, hashtag shit shrinks, and then showing them side on, a la Ranty. So if you go back to any of the videos in the hundreds up to number 1000, the reel that runs in the background, that is to say this reel, right, has got Ranty's side view, where we were arguing with the Earth curve calculator, begging the question, losing before we've even actually ended the discussion. But nevertheless, we were still arguing the toss within the calculations of Earth curve that needs a flat Earth to be measured and heights above it. Got to pepper them with these disclaimers now. We know Earth's measured flat for everything always. But nevertheless, we were talking about how these wind turbines went over the curve. Until you see them side on. Thanks, Ranty. Maybe we could bring that up while you're in front of Craig. I'll be asking you how the height off surface level was acquired, because we'll need a flat Earth to acquire it, and about the linear distances to those wind turbines these days, because they're all flat. Like it's shown in Google Earth. Flat, linear. So we'll have no issues about whether or not Earth curve calculations are going to be fussed about. Same goes for the dispensement of the Earth turn under Pendulums. Right, yeah, I'll dispense with Craig pretty sharpish. Obviously, you can shut me down and talk through those things, but I'll be being paid if that's going to happen. Yeah, make no mistake. If Craig wants to talk through me pointing out how pendulums aren't having Earth turned underneath them because there's consequences. Yeah? He could just shout through me, yeah? As long as I'm getting several £100 to be there, I don't care. Yeah, you can even mute me like other hosts have done when they're paying me to be there.
See, Nathan, back then, they were telling us Earth was measured flat, but we were too busy arguing. Now we're telling them, and they don't like it too much.
Yeah, you know the distance to the wind turbines? All right, Earth flat then, for this linear distance in miles or kilometres. Yeah. Well, we can just end the argument now, unless you want to relinquish that we got a distance to them to suggest Earth curve. Oh, we want to continue? Well, then get on your knees and acknowledge the flat Earth linear distance you've just acknowledged to these wind turbines. We're not going to be putting anything through any curve calculations until we acknowledge how flat it must be to get this measurement. And then once you've got off your knees in respect to the flat Earth you've just measured, we'll get you back on your knees again for the height above the flat surface level that you'll need also. So you'll be on and off your knees a few times, kissing the flat Earth. And I'll be rubbing your faces in it on your own shows with you paying me to do so. What's that? Nathan's in an echo chamber. No, Nathan's got all the winning arguments and you're all cowards and don't want to come here. But you can suggest that if only Nathan came to me, you'd win. Yeah, I will. Just got to put your money where your mouth is and I'll come. Several people have done it already. I've been paid to be on shows. And they got to mute me when they were losing. Yeah, and I recorded them doing it and then humiliated them for it. And got paid. It was win, 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 win for me. Yeah, you can do that. Just get in touch. Nathan Oakley 1980 at AOL.com. We'll arrange my fee and then you can mute me as much as you like. And I'll sit there and tolerate it while I don't get my answers out. Oh, well. No worries. Yeah, I'll just get them out of my own show where I don't get muted on a neutral platform that's paying me. You bunch of idiots. It's just Ranty and his dumbassery that's exposed it by just making it really blatant how dumb this actually sounds. Up until now, it's been subtly masked behind mute button use. Yeah, right. No, it's all right. Thanks for coming back, Ranty, and exposing these facts. Yeah, I've got a public doorway you can walk through for free. What's that? You don't like the standards? Well, you can pay me then. Oh, what, you don't want to? Oh, so you're poor? All right, piss off, cheapskate. Others have paid me, you don't want to, or then stop making adverts that you can't back up with money. You pathetic pauper. But this was
I'm
fun.
still in shock.
I love this. This is what I live for. Shock. Oh, it was brilliant. I haven't even got to Arctic Reflections yet. You know, we'll talk about that too. He's got a microphone. Shocking. Did you not, Arctic Reflections, ponder why I might have chosen microphones in a multifaceted, useful methodology of getting people to react to my content? Thanks for making a fairly elongated video about my eBay store and the products I've got available with the prices. How wonderful. Thank you so much for the advert, Arctic Reflections. You've got an SM57 too. How very interesting. Isn't it shocking that YouTubers who oppose me also can find something to relate to when I talk about a microphone they use? Yeah, isn't that shocking? It's almost like I've thought about this endeavour on many different levels, Arctic Reflections? Thanks again for the advert. Yeah, it's amazing how these microphones have all got stories to tell. And surprisingly, you've got one to tell about yours. How lovely. So delighted that I'm getting this new fangled publicity at an all-time low of my YouTube statistics. Now, I'm perfectly admitting that that's the case. I'll admit it when I'm doing well, when typically the trend has always been upwards. Now I'm into a slight downturn. I'm doing other things. I can't not admit to it. But meanwhile, I'm back on track. We've got Ranty and we've got Arctic Reflections. There's people making adverts about me again. I couldn't be more pleased.
No, I meant I'm shocked that Ranty has piped up after so many years. Oh, boy.
I think he's a bit of a sadist, swinger, something like that. But anyway, the aspect of, you know, wanting to inflict pain upon yourself. So maybe he wants to be in the, you know, embarrassing, watching another man with your lover kind of position where you're looking on as somebody shows yourself with your evidence destroy somebody else's argument before your very eyes. Like, all right, I'm going on Ranty's show. Oh, no worries. I've got the time. I haven't, that's a total lie. To round up a few ranty flat earth evidentiary standards and use those in the debate. That'll be fun. Yeah? Like I say, metaphorically like watching your man with another lover. Your lover. You know, your partner. Watching a man with that woman. Metaphorically.
The last I heard of Ranty, he was making these videos when COVID was hitting. I mean, he was like out of his mind with it.
Yeah, I'm sure. In any event, right, I'd obviously bring out Ranty's former self to defend certain aspects of certain arguments, for Ranty to watch on as the moderator while I use him and his evidence to standardise certain things like a flat Earth distance measurement with Google Earth reference to wind turbines, and then seen side on with the same elevation with respect to a flat surface level and distance along a flat surface level that is required to even analyse them with respect to a calculation suggested to calculate Earth curve after measuring Earth flat twice. I mean, we could talk about those things with ranty flat Earth standards of evidence. Obviously, I'd need to get paid. I wouldn't want to be in that situation where me pointing it out just gets muted and I don't get anything out of it. But yeah, nice that Ranty's exposed this for me to be able to talk about it today. Isn't that lovely? Or just Ranty being unbelievably stupid as always. Nothing much changes in life, eh?
Yeah, it's a ladder.
Yeah, but I'm sure Craig's really pleased that he's being tarred with the same brush of stupidity that Ranty's now exposed him to. I'm sure Craig's delighted about that. Yeah, because Craig's doing really well at the minute, isn't he? While I get reports back of his mental struggles. Me, I'm just struggling for time, right? That's it. And why am I struggling for time? Well, because strictly speaking, I am struggling for money. Nobody's going to ever hide that fact. And you could easily poke fun at me for it if you choose to. But being cash rich, time doesn't really come any more fruitfully to me at the moment. I was about to say, at least I'm time rich. No, I'm not. I'm poor in every regard. But maybe that'll change when the book comes out and I don't have to do eBay anymore and I can get back to just doing YouTube and promoting my book. Like I said earlier, I don't mind going on your shows for free if that's my purpose, like promoting my book. That's a totally different story, right? Maybe that's how I should spin this. I'm just thinking about it on the fly. Maybe that is the spin. Rather than saying you pay me, right? Which is the same rhetoric it's always been for the last 6 years. Since I've tentatively said, well, I'm a fairly well-heeled expert in this subject now. After 2 or 3 years, I would have said that was the case. 4 years, you definitely know it's the case. 5 years, you're respected by the people around you as being at least long in the tooth, relatively speaking. 5 years in flat Earth terms is an eternity. Most people get tired of it and turn their backs on it pretty quickly. Unless they're sleepers, shills that are here ready to turn around at a very strategically timed moment. Like in the flat Earth exodus. I use that term in sarcasm, but I noticed Will Duffy's also used the same term, but not with the hint of irony, in sincerity. Like there's been an exodus.
Yeah, he missed the part. He missed the part what exodus means. They all left.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to get it, does he? Yeah, look up exodus, dumbass. Oh dear, funny stuff. Funny. Are you a travelling man, Neil?
I'm traveling now. So, like, not just Nick. Now, exodus means all.
Very good. So yeah, shout out to, just to round out this little section that we've been yimmy-yammering about for a while now, shout out to Arctic Reflections. Really appreciate the microphone advert. And indeed, Ranty Flat Earth. Thank you, both of you. It's nice to see some adverts coming out again. If you want to make an advert about Nathan Oakley 1980 and his respective channels and endeavours, you feel free to do so. It's nice to see him starting to come out again. It's been a while.
I think you're onto something there. Yeah. Come on and let them promote your book.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you want me on? Okay, well, I've got books to promote, so I don't have to sit here and try and explain to your audience, because, again, like the people around me, right, that works on this idea that I give a toss whether or not they believe Earth's flat or not. Like, no, I never did. Right? Now I've realised that that statement is never more true than ever. I care not about your belief in flat Earth. I just know it's flat, and the people around me who listen to what I talk about know it's flat also. Now, Brian knew 2 weeks before I did. I still hangs around. I think he just likes me. Don't know why, I'm really rude to him. But anyway, the point is, the people around me just know it's flat. And can, some of them, get on with their day as a result. But there's others around here that are like, well, does he know? And what if he didn't know? And there's others that ask us, well, what is it? How is it consequential to me? And then they start asking about whether or not people have lied about it or not. And you're like, get lost, I don't care. Who are you again? I don't even know your name. Give me your name. Silence. So I'm expected to just have a conversation with you. You an omni what now? Go away, you stupid wanker. I don't even know your name. You haven't even got the courage to tell it me. Yet you expect me to justify all of your concerns and fears about the world that you've just found out isn't where you thought it was. Get lost, you bunch of dickheads. What's that, you want to pay me? I quite like your show. Yeah, I like your show. I've always been a follower of Fight the Flat Earth show. Very fantastic, yes. Yeah, my fee is £300, yeah. 90 minutes, yeah. I love it, love the show, big fan. Obviously, my tone would change entirely if I was offered money. Total whore.
No, see, Omnivore, he wants you in secret, Nathan, and he wants to lay down everything, just you and him, one-on-one, and he'll go through it with you.
Right, if I'm going to sit and have pillow talk with someone, I'm going to need to know their name. Metaphorically speaking.
Well, what I was saying, we could just keep it out of, your little dirty little secret. We know Earth is flat, and we could just laugh at everybody around us. Who was that guy that suggested that?
It's not a secret. Any practical application of a measurement of Earth ever will be flat. Right? So it's not a secret. Now, me figuring out that, oh yeah, we're all told it's a ball, aren't we? The real secret is, yeah, we're told it's a ball when every practical application or measurement of Earth ever is flat. Yeah, that's the problem. Not flat Earth. Flat Earth's been shilled into being a nonsensical feast of nonsense garbage waffle spewed by shills. That's what flat Earth in quotes is, in meat hook quotes. Right? Well, Earth is just flat. Not secret. Well, did you think they were hiding that fact when they built trains and roads and buildings? No, they didn't hide that fact. They just dealt with it flat. Do you think they hid that when they were mapping and charting the world? No. What about when they're navigating it in the boats? No, they just dealt with it flat. What about when they created the maps themselves? No, they're all flat. What about Google Earth? Yeah, that's flat. It's all flat. About distances? Flat. About heights? Flat. About any measurement of Earth ever? Yeah, they're all flat. So what would you say is the secret? Now, the secret is you were told it's a big, giant ball that is in no way calculable because the measurement violates that calculation. Because the measurement is flat. Ergo, your ball nonsense is just a religion you've been fed. It came from the Roman Catholic Church. It's about 500 years old, tops. And yeah, you're in a religion. It's shocking, but that religion is the same as Scientology. They are one and the same religion. Did you not know? Yeah, Scientologists have got the same religion you have. It's a sky vacuum, alien-based religion with worlds that are miles and miles and miles away. Also calculated in flat plane topography. So you've got a flat planar system that runs through balls that you're not in, but are described as moving around the sun. Sun-centric, alien-based system. Yours, that's heliocentric, and Scientology's. Also heliocentric! So they're the same! You didn't know you were in a religion, but it's not a secret. We will and can only measure Earth flat because it is flat. That's Earth, is flat. Now, do I give a toss that you were brought up with a religion that you still think is true, of being on a ball, a calculation that violates any measurement of Earth ever, and want to suggest that that's a secret I hold that could be part of a grand conspiracy. No, it's not. It's just a measurement. What's that? You want to tell me how you can take that flat Earth measurement and turn it into the bull belief you hold? I couldn't give a shit. What's your name again? Who are you? Why are you telling me this? Oh, because I advertised the fact I've got an open door to the public and you've wandered your way in and now want to tell me that you believe it's a bleeding ball when I know it's measured flat. How lovely that you can do that. You can. Weekdays, UK time at 2. The door is open right now. We are live and anybody can come to tell me how wrong I am about how Earth is measured flat in all respects. What say you, Discord server with an open door to anybody watching? No, am I wrong? Of course I'm not. What's that? If only I was on a neutral server, I'd be wrong. No worries, I'll go wherever you like. Just give me money. Alternatively, smash the super chat. I'd much rather be here where I can sit back in my chair and I haven't got to give much thought to what I'm really doing. This is absolutely the best of the 3 jobs. This bit right now, this is what life is all about. I could not be more comfortable. I hate doing this. I'm going to do it though. I am so laid back. This is how I run the show. I am relaxed. I have no script. I've got nothing. I've got a light switch. That's it. That's what's in my hands. The show just runs. Neil will interrupt in a second. Life is pretty sweet, right? This is it. What's that? You want me to come out of this chair and sit on a chair where potentially what I'm saying now couldn't be reaching an audience because you've turned me off with a mute button? And me not going means that I've got the mute button. Oh, that's a very interesting bit of reverse psychology you got going on there, Fundies. Very interesting indeed. No, I'm good. Smash the super chat, though, if you like what I do. If you like me telling you how you can end an argument with a family member or a relative or that wanker friend that tells you you're an idiot because you happen to half mention Earth's flat once, and he still ridicules you 3 years later. Yeah, if you like coming here to find out how you can say, what's that, you just use miles. You realise that you must worship at the altar of flat Earth for using that distance, right? What's that? You say height. Up in the air, right? Off sea level. Oh, you realise you will be worshipping at the altar of a flat Earth before you take those flat Earth measurements and fudge them into the sphere belief that you hold. Right? You realise that. If you like that, smash the super chat here. Yeah? Rather than worrying about whether or not I'm being called a coward for not going to some other person who can monetize my time when I haven't got any. Yeah? Just support me by that. You know, join me as a Patreon. Hit me up on the memberships. Do those sorts of things. Access me via the multitude of public access gateways I have offered to my audience. Yeah? It's not like I'm hiding. It's not like I've got a show where I'm Simon Dan and I'm like, I won't debate other people. Why would I need to? Yeah, I just opened the door. You can come right in. Oh, what? That's not good enough. I've got to go out of my way to go through your door. It's been about 2 years since this conversation, hasn't it, Neil? A good 2 years. Thanks again, Ranty, by the way. Really nice to be able to reiterate this. So please join if you want to. If you want to tell me what's what, if you want to tell me how wrong I am, you can. The door's right there. It's right below us. Got a public link that runs under every show. Alternatively, you can stay in your echo chamber and react to the intro reel with the housekeeping questions. You can do that. Yeah? And say he's in an echo chamber. But before the show's even started, I'm going to need to react to these here intro reels. Absolutely epic. Oh, I bet Craig's so pleased with Ranty right now. Hey, is that Brian? I mean, I changed my tone. Oh, is that Brian? Oh, hello, Brian.
You have not done a phone with the present opportunity you're being handed.
It's just suddenly stepped up from being like nothing's going on. My YouTube stats are going down. Everything's bad, right? And I'm looking at the money that comes in from that avenue going, God, I can't pay the mortgage this month. I need to do stuff. Bad. And then suddenly, the light at the end of the tunnel I've said that I can see. Yeah, I mean, it's sincere. It's there, right? And then Ranty, like a little angel in a way. He's shining on me with his little advert. Oh, thanks, Ranty. And then Arctic Reflections, another little angel. The They're talking about my microphones. Like, you could not make this up. I'm just going to put my hands together right now and say, thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Anyway, yeah, Brian, things are good.
So, Ranty and Arctic Reflections are advertising your channel for you for free, basically.
Yeah, not just my channel. My microphone sales, Brian. I couldn't make it up. It just...
Arctic Reflections. Is he trying to have a go at you with the microphone sales?
No, he's relating to me. He's saying, I use an SM57 also. Now, on the one hand, he's saying, mine's real. He's taking pride in, it's easy to get a Shure SM57 that's not fake. He's absolutely correct. You can simply go to an authorised Shure distributor or dealer and purchase one for the full retail price. No problem, I'll agree with him 100%. And I absolutely decry anybody who goes onto eBay and looks for an SM57 or 58 that isn't real. I absolutely decry that and don't want to do that. But he's saying he's holding something that, in this case, a Sub-Zero, right? It's a Sub-Zero mic. And he's like, it's a Chinese fake. It's like, no. It's made by Sub-Zero. They're a manufacturer, right? They're not unabashful about the fact that they're copying another manufacturer's mic. They know they are, but they're not putting a Shure logo on it. And like, that's underhanded, which is what I dislike about eBay. And partly one of the reasons I want to do it from the eBay, like, I take the YouTube hat off and, getting Arctic Reflections reaction is just absolutely golden. It's like getting the Neumann. Like, well, you do this in the hope that one day you might score a Neumann to use on your show. And then almost immediately that beautiful chick turns out to be the chick you're dancing with on the dance floor. That happened with my mic. Now it's happening with a fellow YouTuber making an advert about my endeavour to sell microphones. You're like, my God, you couldn't score any better, right? But that's with a YouTube hat on. I take that hat on, take that hat off, and put the eBay hat on, right? And what I want to offer to the eBay audience is the ability to discern what the microphone actually is. Because I'm being really clear about it in the advert. This is a clone of this mic. Not like the fakers do, right? It's not a Shure. No, you're lying. It's not made in the Shure factory. You liar. You're saying it's a Shure. It isn't. That's scummy. I don't like it. It's just deceitful, right? Me, I'm saying, here's the mic. It's a Sub-Zero. It's a clone of an SM57. That's what it's trying to sound like. And it does. This is what it looks like. This is how much it costs. This is how much it retails for. It's like any mic you buy. But he's pointing that out in his video whilst telling me how proud he is that he's bought a Shure that's real and that it's not hard to do. Completely agree, mate. My point being, he doesn't know how to approach this because it's something near and dear to him. He likes his Shure mic. Of course, they're great. I love Shure mics, and so does he, and he's relating with me on that level, and I couldn't be more pleased about it, Brian. It's so beautiful.
Is that the one where you sent Adam to the
Neil,
dangerous part of town to pick it up?
I'll come to that in a minute, Neil. Thank you for bringing us on to that. We'll get to that heartwarming story too, but go ahead, Brian, as it was you that was asking.
Yeah. I was going to say, if the ballers were smarter, they'd all be advertising your microphones. So it would become a business that would take up your time, then you wouldn't be online doing flat earth stuff.
Oh, I see. I thought you were just being sarcastic with reverse psychology, poor reverse psychology, until you said, because that's absolutely true, right? I did think about that. I thought that is something that potentially the ballers would get behind. They'd be like, hang on a second. He's talking about his 3 jobs, writing a book, being a YouTuber, and selling microphones. Why not encourage him to sell microphones? If suddenly he's constantly dealing with microphone sales and the odd return and all the customer service and marketing that goes along with that, he'll have less and less time to do YouTube videos. Yes, that's true. So maybe from Arctic Reflections' point of view, he's like, no, I don't want to be too discourageful of your microphone endeavours. Although he's suggesting my Neumann's a fake, which it absolutely is not. Bearing in mind, I've sent serial numbers off to Neumann and checked this stuff with them in Germany, and they've put me in touch with spare parts distributors Like, they're not under the radar. I'm sure you could find them, but they're obscure to find. But having got in touch with Neumann, they're like, oh yeah, you've got a Neumann mic. What's the serial number? Send me pictures. And I have. So it's not like I'm lying about having a Neumann. And the spare parts I've got for my Neumann, in this case an interference tube, are absolutely legitimate. Well, this Arctic Reflections guy, this is where he is being derogatory to me, is saying, look, this item costs 70 quid, or whatever it costs. I can't remember. I think I've reduced it right down now. It seemed too cheap to me, actually, when I saw it on his ad. I'm like, maybe I should put the price up on that. Anyway, it's something like 60 or 70 quid, but it's just a spare part. It's not the mic. It's just the metal tube that goes around it, if you know what I mean. It's called an interference tube. It's just a slotted metal tube. Well, as a spare part, 70 quid is actually horrendous for a spare part. Right? It's not the mic. Yeah, it's got no guts at all. It's a literal metal tube that costs 70 quid second hand. It gives you an idea of Neumann parts, right? 12 quid for a screw. That's how much I paid. I'm not even kidding. Neumanns are ludicrous. But this guy's saying that's fake. It's like, no, that's a legit spare. I want to turn it into money because I'm poor. But saying, look, he's got a Neumann for 70 quid, it must be a Chinese fake. Au contraire, that's an absolutely legitimate Neumann product that's come from the Neumann factory. And I've sent photographs of it and its serial number and the one that sits alongside it, the one I'm talking through now, to Neumann in Germany. So, no, they're not fakes, cheeky bastard. Anyway, shout out to Retro Bill. It says, worth every penny in a super chat. Thank you, Retro Bill. I don't know what's worth every penny, but thank you for the super chat and the sentiment. I'm going to give it a like. I might even give it a heart.
Wait, so if a BMW is made in anywhere other than Germany, it's not a real BMW?
You got it. The place of manufacture is kind of inconsequential these days because most stuff is going to be built to a price, and if you can get a decent enough manufacturing plant in China to make it, that's where it will be made. Now, there's a assembled in, I don't know, this is 2020 bullshit, marketing bullshit. If you ever see something on the side of a box that says the word assembled in, right, what does that mean? Well, it means that they can send stuff flat from China to America, for instance, and then the last little stages of Q&A, quality assurance, and manufacturing, no, final assembly is done in the USA. And then they can make it seem like your Chinese-made whatever is made in the USA. It's not. The final assembly and quality checking might be done in the USA with all the parts that came from China that were made in China. But people want to believe in the nostalgia of their own country making stuff. It's like, who cares where it's made? What is it? Is it good? Is it well made? That's all that matters. So, I don't know if some people care if it's made in China. I don't, personally. If it's good. If it's made in China and crap, then I care, because it's crap.
Yeah, there was a big thing with Harley Davidson. Everybody was making a fuss because the parts came from Japan, and it's not a real Harley Davidson.
Well, I'd have to agree with that because Harley Davidson is an American make, and every single part of it should be made and come from America.
Why?
There should be no parts made in Japan.
It doesn't mean
because it's not American,
right?
then.
Yeah, but
I've no problem with it.
Harley.
It means it's not made in. It's not American. It's not an American Harley. That's what should matter.
I gave something a name. So I was watching, I still watch him actually. There's a guy who sells subwoofers. We're 3/4 of an hour into this live show. I'm going to talk about wherever I like. It's my show. Do what I like. Anyway, this guy's explaining that if you buy a subwoofer, because that's his focus, where I've focused on microphones, he's focused on subwoofers. Robot Underground is his company. And he says if you get a subwoofer that doesn't have any badging on it, you can badge it. Right? You can call it whatever you like. You should make up a name. Why not? That's how people make stuff. They just make up a name for it. Now, having worked in manufacturing when I was in high-end audio equipment and selling it to dealers and sometimes end users, but studios and people like that, obviously I'd seen how a product got made from not even existing to being given a name. And sometimes you just have to give it a name. Now, I did that with one of the microphones I got. So I got it, and there was no branding on it anywhere. And it just came in a little leather box. And I'm like, okay, what can I call this microphone? Well, there was I think it's Polish, but there was a 1950s Polish distributor that used to distribute AKG. So that meant that their name, back in the 50s, the distributors would put their names on the products that they bought to distribute in their country. It sometimes works like that now, but this guy's pointing out, Patrick his name is, that you can do that now. There's nothing stopping you doing that. So that's what I did. I got this mic, and I'm like, right, I'm going to give it the name of this 50s distributor that probably went defunct years and years ago. So this old vintage microphone that I can't seem to get to work is now known as the Horny Phone. I dub you Horny Phone. Now it's got that name. Why not?
Did you say horny phone?
Horny Phone, yeah. Like it's a horn and it's a phone. Like horny phone. Horny Phone. Anyway, available for sale on eBay. I can't wait to get rid of all the microphones so I don't have any left. I want them all to sell.
Nobody is taking me up on the challenge yet.
Of course not.
Nathan.
What are they going to do? Crash into the ground where they thought a void would be opening up ahead of them, Brian?
Well, if the Earth's a globe, then the second lot of geometry I show and all the calculations, it has to work. You know, it will definitely work if the Earth's a globe, but if it's not, you can forget about it. Nobody is taking me up on it.
Would you
Shocking.
take somebody up on a suicide mission?
Yeah, that's what it is, a suicide mission. If you're going to take the notion of the void opening up ahead of you into the calculations of flight descent, then you will crash into the ground because the ground is not falling away at 8 inches per mile squared. It is a flat plane. That is how planes fly. We've already proven it with pitch data. Brian's just laughing at you. We all know it. I don't know if he was going to wait to mention it, but I'm going to mention it right now. Brian's just laughing at you.
Well, the first geometry that I show in that challenge, that geometry, right, I would absolutely be in the cockpit with a pilot using that geometry, and I am, without a doubt, I have zero, unless something wrong with the plane or something, if everything goes according to plan, I have zero doubt that we will end up 1,000 feet above the airport using those exact calculations and that geometry. Zero doubt about it, right? Now, the bowler can't say the same about the second geometry and those calculations, but they know it won't. And that shows the difference. They know it's flat. They know it's not a globe, because otherwise they'd be jumping at that. They wouldn't be able to get away from it. But instead, they need stupid challenges like McTown's that ends up being referencing a globe mathematically, not in practical reality. When you try and reference a globe in practical reality, you get into trouble. End of story. You know, so it's like, if you really think it's a globe, then this has to work. There's no tricks, there's no ifs, no buts, no maybes. It is what it is. You know, simple stuff.
Quick shout out to Robert MB Realist, who says, "Cheers, Nathan. When up with Ranty? New channel? Question mark. I'll try and decipher that. I don't know. Maybe he'll get in touch. Watch this space."
That's guns, supposedly. Guns of Navarone or Robert. Who knows? I don't know where I stand with him yet. He's still under a watchful eye.
Okay. Guns has been around forever. You realise that, right?
I know Guns has been around forever, but I don't know that this Robert is Guns.
I do. He made a specific point of telling me 3 years ago about various name changes that he had. I know it's him. I have interacted with him many times previously. It is Guns of the Navarone. I know it is, Neil. Do you not trust me?
your judgment and your discernment.
I just know who I've interacted with. And I've interacted with him many times over the years, Neil.
Yeah, it could have been setting you up from way back when.
It could
You
be.
don't even know it.
I don't think so. I've got to be honest. But I like that he will go along with that when you're having a little poke.
That's good, and that's a positive for him.
Yeah, it's tolerant
Let me not
of your
get started with
nonsense.
Jiren, please.
Again, about Jaron?
Let me not get started with you and Jiren. How many times you had to warn you about that piece of crap?
Either great or good, and I've got no rebuttal to this, have I? I'll just keep my mouth shut, I think.
That would be the wise thing to do.
You're right. It is the wise thing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to try and defend this position. I'm going to die on this hill. I've already tried. Yeah, I failed miserably.
Did you listen? Sorry,
Go ahead,
what?
Brian. Save me.
Oh no, I was
No.
just saying that. Did you? Go on, Neil. I'll go after you.
He was just gonna announce how he failed. What'd you interrupt for?
I'm pretty sure we'd moved on from this, actually, Neil. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, last night there was I missed it. I fell asleep, would you believe? I missed the QE Live, and they were going through the second half of that. I can't remember the name now. It was evolution, whatever the hell that is, versus creation, right? Total nonsense.
Ian.
Well, who?
Simon.
So, yeah, right. Tom, Fred. You know what I mean? Whoever. The thing is, right, is that I was listening to it and it just got pathetic. It's like it went into all this kind of Zionist agenda, the evil Nazis, and all this other stuff. And then they were at some concentration camp or something. It's just like, is that what you've got? I mean, you're supposed to be producing evidence that, like, Darwinism is incorrect, which really, and Darwinism has not, what Darwin postulated, he didn't even postulate it. It came from Alfred Russel Wallace, the surveyor who was humiliated by Robotham. That's why they don't mention that. But that's where it came from, and those ideas. And but they say they just give it to Darwin. But like Darwin, whatever Darwin postulated had nothing to do with the origin of life. But yet they try to make it an argument for their side against creation, even though it has no connection to it whatsoever. But long story short, the other side, let's just say the Christian side, the side who are for God and a creator, that side started bringing up Nazism and all the other stuff. You know what I mean? As some argument for their side. It was like a big guilt trip. It's pathetic. It was absolutely horrendous. It was pathetic. I felt like wanting to become a Darwinist myself after listening to it, except for I know it's a load of rubbish. It's like pathetic. Is that what you've got? It was pathetic on unbelievable levels.
It's because the position is non-creationist. So that video has been made for or by, and therefore when they're representing the opponent, they represent them like we get represented, as a feast of nonsense, scoff waffling, vomit spewing, regurgitating idiot. So if you watch a Simon Dan video, the representation of us by him is going to raise the same sort of level of disdain that you're suggesting is being, by you at least, levelled at the presentation of a creationist in their narrative on that video. And yeah, that's what they do. We're presented as though we're complete idiots. The Feast of Nonsense achieves that. And in that particular narrative, the creationist is some Nazi-loving scumbag, right? That's the representation.
No, it was the other way around. The creationists were presenting an argument that Hitler was a Darwinist, and look what he did. So that's why Darwinism is wrong or something. It became this big, stupid guilt trip that had a load of kind of Zionist kind of agenda undertones. It was horrendous.
Yeah, Hitler
was
was trying to
terrible.
make a master race. That's what he was trying to do by getting rid of the weaker races. Yeah, it was a joke. I don't understand how it went into that.
I don't know either. I didn't watch yesterday's show
Well,
very much. I was too busy.
yeah, the thing about it is that it's nonsense because anyone who ever owned dogs or cats will know, or had any interaction with animals will know that sometimes a mother, right, a mother of offspring will kill the mother of an offspring, whether it be
mother.
pups or kittens or whatever, will kill the kittens or kill the pups because or even only kill one of them or two of them because she might feel like that they're like genetically flawed. Do you know what I mean?
Just me,
That
or
we wouldn't notice.
has Brian managed to descend this conversation from Hitler to killing kittens and puppies? Is that really what Brian's just done? Is this intentional?
I was talking about a horse race.
I'm trying to
I
get the
never
point
heard him
across. I'm trying to get a point across before you try and character assassinate me.
Character
point I'm
assassinate?
making
You're talking
is-
about killing kittens and Hitler? What do you want?
No, I'm saying is that the very people who are pointing fingers about what the Nazis did and Hitler did, right, and saying that they don't realise that cats and dogs and other animals literally kill.
I'm going to tell
their
you about the
offspring
3
that aren't
ways you
the
can get in
offspring of
contact
their
and
offspring when
communicate
their offspring.
with Nathan.
My God, Nathan, will you just leave me speak?
Sorry.
They kill their offspring sometimes when they feel the offspring have some disability. They smell it and they can smell the disability and they kill their offspring. My point I'm trying to make is that is something that does happen in nature, right? Nature does behave that way. That is something that does happen with animals. So my point was, if they're going to indict Hitler, they've got to indict every cat or dog or animal that does this.
Are you trying to say, wait a second, Brian, you confused the shit out of me now. Because are you trying to say that Hitler was killing the lame cat?
No, Neil. Oh my
Bloody
God.
hell, Neil.
Neil, right, let me explain it to you, right? They were trying to use Hitler and what he did as some kind of an argument against Darwinism, right? But they were picking and choosing because cats and dogs do the same thing.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Right.
I was confusing it. I got you.
It's so bad. My point is, their argument was so bad. Like, if they're going to indict Hitler on that, they have to indict every cat or dog that did it. I'm not saying Hitler was right to do it. That's not my point.
Well, I'm delighted we made absolutely certain this video did not get monetized today. That's great. Schlitzy, can you pop yourself on mute unless you've got something to actually add?
How did I do that? All I did was speak about...
Hold on. Schlitzy, can you hear me? Oh, perfect. How did you do that? By talking about Hitler and killing kittens? What do you think? We're not involved with the conversation.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about killing kittens. No one said that about people killing kittens.
I just hallucinate.
Nobody said that. You descended it into that. You said that, not me. I never said that. I was trying to make a point, and you decided to descend it into that.
I didn't descend anything into anything.
Yeah, you did. You tried to turn it into people killing kittens when I was talking about the mothers of the kittens, the cats killing the kittens.
Oh, it's much better when it's kittens'
the mothers of the pups, the dogs killing the pups. I was trying to make a point about your bad argument in that video.
No, well, I'm glad we cleared that up. Right. I'm going to round out with this video. I don't know why it came through. I didn't mean to interrupt you, right? Normally, when I play stuff, it should come through the PC line, whereas I think this is coming through...
I'm going to tell you...
Yeah, this is coming through on the Discord line. That's weird. No, it's not separating out how it should. But I'll have to figure that out another time. For whatever reason, shorts aren't coming through as a PC line on my PC. Very strange. Anyway, I'm going to play this to you, and then we're going to round out.
You about the 3 ways you can get in contact and communicate with Nathan Oakley. Number 1, you can join my live streams weekdays at 2 p.m. for free. Number 2, you can pay me to come onto your show. Get in touch at nathanoakley1980@aol.com and we can arrange a fee for me to be on your show. Number 3,
be related to, a friend of, or generally in the vicinity of Nathan Oakley.
I'm recording something, I'm really sorry.
This interaction also comes for free.
I'm going to tell.
That's it. Right, with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Yeah, that video annoyed me yesterday.
What video?
Huey's video that we're not talking about. It's just, first of all, it's anything but God. And Darwin had his own issues. He lost a daughter and became bitter. It's kind of weird because that author, Anne Rice, right, who made the Vampire Chronicles, Interview with a Vampire and the rest of that nonsense, she lost a daughter and she tried to bring her to life in Interview with a Vampire, with the little vampire that never dies. But eventually she did die. It's very strange.
How sad.
Yeah, Anne Rice, I think she gave all of that writing up anyway. Supposedly she's Christian now. But those books were popular in the 80s.
Right.
I think Tom Cruise was even wasn't he in Interview with a Vampire?
Interview with a Vampire. And Brad Pitt. And
Yeah,
Kirsten
Brad
Dunst.
Pitt.
Kirsten Dunst played the little vampire you're talking about.
Right. She played the girl.
That was who he was. Lestat.
Yeah, he was Lestat.
That's one of the other books. The Vampire Lestat is one of the other books in the series.
I was reading them all, and then it got really freaking homosexual. I was like, I'm done with this crap. Actually, they got it. They redoing this show. It's like a mini series, and it's all freaking gay. The whole friggin' thing is gay.
What's with it calling space gay? Fake and gay, says Candice Owens. Like, fake and gay? Well, that's gone through the mill too many times for it to have any meaning. Like, gay happy, gay homosexual, fake and gay? Fake and happy, fake and homosexual, fake and this new meaning that I don't understand when you ascribe it to something's fakeness? Fake and gay? That doesn't mean anything. Way to dilute that word down one step more, Candice Owens.
I don't know what she's talking about lately.
Me neither.
But yeah, that whole show, it's crazy because I'd be mad. If I was black, I'd be pissed off because they made the vampire Lestat a gay guy, and right from the first show, he's in a homosexual relationship.
Hold on, how gay?
Very gay.
Are we talking
Flying
really
in-
camp gay?
Flying in the air, gay.
How you doing? Oh, you have a little seat there. That proper camp. I mean, I can see Vampire Lestat being extremely camp.
It was sickening. I couldn't even get past the first show. I shut it down.
A bit homophobic. No answer.
I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
A little bit homophobic.
No, it's not that. I just don't want to see that. What I want to say, I know what the original book was. Now I got to watch this, and I got to see when he made Lewis a vampire that they actually had sex in the air while two beautiful women lay on the couch asleep. It's ridiculous.
Okay, fair enough.
That's the agenda. I'm watching this Andor. That's the precursor to what do you call that one? When they got the plans for the Death Star in Star Wars, right?
What?
So they're showing you how they did all of that. And
You mean Star Wars Behind the Scenes Part 5?
No, it was the one they made where, what was that one they came out with? Where they were showing you how they got the plans for the Death Star. Yes, Rogue One. So now this takes you back before Rogue One, how they planned all of this and how they started the rebellion. But of course, right in the middle of it, Two women making out. Like, what are you doing?
Wait, which one was this? Just gonna get a pen.
Andor season 2.
Season
many
2.
minutes in?
Got it. Yeah, I'll check it out, Neil. I'll check it out. It sounds disgraceful.
You guys are degenerates. Surprised at you, Liam.
Is that Disney?
No, it's Disney Plus. Oh, maybe that's what the plus stands for. Disney plus gayness.
Gayness like fakeness? Like space is fake and gayness? Or does gay with fake mean camp? Space is fake and camp? But I wouldn't say it was that camp, although they are wearing quite extravagant suits. Quite shiny suits. Maybe it is quite gay.
Oh, you know what? That's a word I'm going to take back. Because that actually means happy. And you can't show me one homosexual that's happy.
Hold on, are we talking homosexual male or homosexual female?
Doesn't matter.
It absolutely matters. I've worked in a Home Depot style store, B&Q. Does matter.
The point is,
there we
they're
go.
not happy.
You've got to lead me better. I could throw out so many stereotype fallacies here about lesbians and gays, but you're just not throwing me the right feed lines, Neil.
Neil is right, though, that this ridiculous agenda, and they just never stop it. They just won't stop it. It's so boring. Every single movie, nearly every single show, has to have some element of this in it. It's boring.
Yeah, look at that show, The Last of Us. Can't even watch it anymore. Ridiculous.
That was going overboard. That was.
No, you're thinking of Lost, and it was a plane crash.
What's going on with the book? When's the next installment happening?
Tonight, I think. About 6:30. I'm going to do another half an hour of after show, maybe. And then I'm going to go and have a snooze. And then I'm going to come back at about 6:30 UK time. And I'm going to hustle everyone together. That's my plan, at least. Like a plan?
Is Flatsy the Speedster, the quickest girl on Earth, going to be there?
I don't know. I hope so. I'll be trying to hustle her there too.
It's that flat head of hers.
Indeedy.
She started telling us how she could burn anybody in a race, and then she put up a picture of her husband's friend that she burnt in a race. You got to see the lights of this guy.
Oh, that was ridiculous, wasn't it? It's like she was boasting at this. I mean, you see this boy, like, you know, the guy couldn't run the length of a test bus. You know what I mean? It's like, and she was going on about how she was out sprinting this guy. It's just like, that's not a boast.
I mean, the guy looks like he just rolled out of a bar.
Yeah, after a month.
So that race with QE is not going to happen, Brian, because QE doesn't run anymore. I tried to pitch it yesterday. I know you said you missed the show, but I tried to pitch it. QE is like, negative. I do not run anymore. But if he would have ran, we could have set that race up.
Sometimes you get to that age where you run to and from no one.
I'm at that age.
I've been at that age.
Yeah,
I don't even remember when the last time I ran was.
it kind of felt like it a couple of days ago. We all went into the pool as a family, and it wasn't really running; it was swimming away from kids. But that was the last time I had that feeling.
No, I could still swim good, but the running, man, whoo.
Great movie.
I'm after just been swimming there myself just a minute ago.
Arnie at his best.
How are your beaches in the UK? Are they nice?
Some of them are very nice. Yeah.
Wasn't there an American guy who wrote a book about running, and then he died running?
Yeah, Jim Fix. He had a heart attack. He was a big runner. Runner. Then he had a heart attack and died while running.
What a lovely story.
His books plummeted. He gave all this advice about running and how good it is for you. Now, the heart attack probably didn't have anything to do with it, but I wouldn't take advice from that guy.
What was his name, Ian? The guy you're talking about?
I think it was Jim Fix, Fixx.
Jim Fitz. Don't think I ever heard of him.
He was a running man. This is actually terrible what happened to me. It's Wednesday, and I've only made, I think, $70 doing DoorDash, as opposed to what I would have made doing Instacart. I got to make a move somehow. I got to do something.
You should sell microphones.
I was thinking about that. I got to find something that I could sell, but I have to have a knowledge about it.
Sell bridges?
Could always sell a kidney.
Like, look at this.
How about old
I
rope?
got no problem, but look at this order that just comes in. I'm not leaving my house for $3. $3. You want me to go pick up something at Chick-fil-A for you for $3? Kiss my ass.
Well, luckily in England, the gentlemen who do the DoorDash job don't speak any English. Do the natives do that job as well, where you are, Neil?
No, I'll tell you what. Mostly, there's so many people. With Instacart, there was everybody doing it. As a matter of fact, there was so many freaking people doing it. You had old people, I mean old, like 80. I seen a guy doing it. Women with their children are doing it, which they're not supposed to. Young
What,
kids,
just as a bit of part-time? Bit of pocket money for the weekend?
they might be doing it for part-time. But I don't know, because I would see the same people every day. So I think they're doing it full-time as well. But I don't know how they're making money doing DoorDash. I really don't. There's just no way. When you add up the gas and everything, you're not making any money.
Yeah, it's a job the illegals take up here because you effectively you're self-employed.
Right. Yeah, there might be some, but mostly it's I can't even say it's black or white. It's everybody's doing it. It's kind of sad. That's why it's messed up, because they didn't put no regulations on it. It's just anybody could do it, and they don't care, because the more people that do it, the more money they make. They don't care if you limit it to a certain amount, then people could make a living out of it. No, the greedy bastards let anybody do it at any time because there's more money for them.
They're going to need more people, don't they, Neil? Because some people are fussy about taking all the orders. They won't take like a small order.
Well, that's the whole thing. If you put a minimum amount on it, like DoorDash, put a minimum amount, $10. Your order will be $10. Will go to the driver immediately. Then you could freaking do whatever you want. Then if you want me for $3 after that, at least it'll be $13. But how do you expect somebody to leave their house with $2.50? Don't even pay for the gas. Like, makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's not sustainable.
Well,
Are there no,
back to New
factories
York.
you can work at, Neil?
Back to New York for Neil. I'm gonna have to go back to New York for at least a couple of months to get a big chunk again, and
Are there
then
no
try it
factories
over
there?
again. What's happening, Adam? How was the chat today? I didn't get a chance to get in there. Same old people in there.
Always. Today, I think it was a guy named Slump, and he just, I would expect we know him from way back. It's just, how they come with stock answers and stock questions, and you kind of just get to know the feeling of them. So I don't think he was genuine, but hey.
Maybe stock answers questions like, "Where's your container?"
Like, where's your container? Like, gravity is the container. Gravity is, in towards the middle of Earth. And he actually, I think, gave a little bit of math for the center of Earth. And I didn't, I'm done pressing them. But I was like, so now you got math for the center of Earth.
How did he come up with that?
I think my question was what math, and I don't remember his answer. Think
All right.
about it as a non-answer.
All right. To get to the center of something, right? Don't you have to know how big that something is, right?
Okay.
So they must be going by the radius that they have, and they're going to the center of Earth from the radius. I don't know.
I don't know. It always bothers me, especially. I'm sorry, especially when I think about like the imperfectness of their ball. That kind of, it always gets to me.
that they don't think that they could, detect where the irregularities would happen.
It's sad, isn't it, that they're still trying to promote a radius and hang on. They're still trying to hang on to this thing. It's like you have a sliding scale, which is the horizon, right? It moves closer to you and further from you without you even doing anything. You can do that, right? I know, I've experienced it many times. So that means you have no standard to base the size of the sphere you need it to be on. Because they always have at least 7 over, if not greater than 7 over 6. Or, that's all based on or, which is based on there not being any 7 over or greater than 7 over 6 or. So the thing they need to not happen so they could measure their globe constantly happens and is happening at a different degree from moment to moment, hour to hour, week to week, you know what I mean? Month to month, year to year. The point is that they don't have anything. They literally have to just completely relinquish all horizon claims in 2020. All over. They can't claim anything about the horizon again. And then they'll turn up and ask you, how come there's half of this windmill being blocked by the horizon? It's like, how stupid are we? You know what I mean? I mean, some of it is, obviously they're not all stupid because they're not taking up the challenge that I put out there that will either prove or disprove a globe. Right? So they're not all stupid. But they are stupid enough to think that they can still turn up with an horizon that's blocking something. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think what they're going to do with that challenge is they're just going to ad hom you and try to make it look like you're an idiot. Look, they'll come up with something, some sort of math to try and make you look stupid when
they can't. They can't come up with anything. This is what I've been given, right? Why didn't you take on Wolfie's challenge years ago? I can't even remember what Wolfie's challenge was, but I remember it had nothing to do with anything and didn't prove flat or globe, right? It was some BS challenge that had nothing to do with anything, right? I can't remember what it was, but I remember the tone of it, right? Right. Or they said to me, how come your diagrams aren't the scale? Now, all the maths and everything are perfect in it, right? You can take all of them and they're all comfortable. I said, well, the scale you're looking for is in the previous video. I have that exact scale in the previous video. And they said, all right, so it's in the previous video. Yeah, but it's not in this video. Yeah, it's not in this video, it's in the previous video. But the point being is that what has the scale got to do with anything? I said there wasn't the scale. I said that there wasn't scale in the video. I said that in the video. So why are any of them wanting to talk to me about scale? All the maths are there. The maths match everything. Everything is perfect there. So I don't have to worry about scale. Do you know what I mean? So that's the other one. Other than that, they've had red herrings. Yeah.
Brian, they want to talk to you about scale because it's not in that video.
Yeah. They want to talk to me about the thing that isn't in the video, and they want to argue with me about things that I've already debunked in the past, but they want to rehash again. I have several of them. One particular, your man Buck Sodbuster. Not the guy that gave me the pitch there.
Yeah, he wants me to sign Nathan's book when he gets it.
God. Now, he is trying to have a GPS argument with me, and he doesn't understand how he doesn't actually understand how GPS works. Right? He doesn't understand the full. He's denying, him and others are denying elements of official claims to do with GPS, and he doesn't understand basic things. I'm asking him to come up with the geometry of how a fix happens. Show me all the geometry from A through to Z. Show me, and what they all have to do is because they all they have is copy and paste of the original of the official story, right? So what they all have to do is refer back to the official story, copy and paste some rubbish that they don't even fully understand, and then expect me to accept that as some kind of an answer. It's like, no, what they're basically doing is referring to magic and then expecting me to accept it because they do. Right. So that's the third thing that I'm getting. So it's either Wolfie's challenge, one of them brought up. The other one I heard was scale. Other than that, it's really only nonsense. Like even the GPS thing is just a complete red herring. I mean, there's nothing, just nonsense, just ad homs and your basic BS that they come up with. So there's nothing. It's anything but do the challenge, anything but address the challenge. You know, and oh, sorry, no, I was told that 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 the amount of drop extra is insignificant within what I'm pointing out. The amount of drop is 1.83 miles, right? So what it means is that the plane would end up 1.8 if the pilot uses what pilots do use for their descent, which is trigonometry, and uses it in the way they use it for their descent, they will end up 1.83 miles too high if the Earth's a globe, right? I'm being told that's insignificant. That's what I'm getting. Waste of time.
Wow. What was Wolfie's challenge? I can't remember.
It was probably just some nonsense. Right? Some heap of nonsense that didn't matter. If it had any merit, they all would have been going on about it. It was just some. Wolfie came at me with a load of different stupid things. Wolfie asked me at one point, would I videotape what I'm doing at the weekend to prove that I was out partying with people and I wasn't at home on my own or something like that. Can't remember the full details. It was some heap of rubbish. But that, I mean, whatever his challenge was, it didn't prove anything, that's for sure. It was probably based around personal matters and not based around, the argument.
Daz, can you mute, please? Daz. Daz. Oh my God. Daz. Sorry about that.
Any ballers in Discord?
Must be a boycott on or something, Neil. I don't know.
Yeah, the boycott, huh?
If you listen carefully enough, you can hear the evidence speak for itself.
Good one, Saito.
You we live tonight?
No, that was last night.
Oh yes. Too much alcohol.
We're doing the book later. I'm just going to, I don't know, record about 5 or 10 minutes more after show. Then I'm going to have a small break and then we're going to come back at about 6:30. About 3 hours.
Did QE join the show here? Or Adam Meakin? Not Adam Price, but Adam Meakin.
You talking about today's show? No.
I don't really need to let him in. I'll either turn the hangout to be open or I'll start a new one at 6:30. I'll probably do the latter.
You do need to leave them in, otherwise they can't get in here. They could be trying to get in and they don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, that's all right.
How do you leave? How do they get in if you don't leave them in? Can you switch the setting?
Yeah.
Or just leave the door open again. Right? But you know how to do that?
But that's what he's talking about now. You can switch the setting. You know the setting he didn't switch for us many times? He can switch that now for QE and Adam.
Yeah.
Neil, why aren't you going to Atlanta to get work?
What's that?
Why aren't you trying to get a few weeks' work in Atlanta?
Yeah, I don't know anybody in Atlanta.
Yeah, but you just make a few phone calls, like. Just say, look, you're looking for a few weeks' work here or there. You're living in you're what, an hour or so away from Atlanta?
Yeah, it's my age, Brian. I'm not what I used to be, you know. I can't be doing that work. I'm 60 next month. It's like I gotta be working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to have guys with me. I can't just go out like I used to on my own and take a helper. Those days are over.
What about if you got work in Atlanta and brought lads from New York down to Atlanta? Would they be interested in that?
Yeah.
Would they come down for a couple of weeks?
Nobody's coming with me to Atlanta from New York, trust me. It's just, I gotta. This really messed me up, man. This Instacart thing screwed me because I know I could break my ass, stay out. I could always make at least 1,000 and better a week. I can't do it with the DoorDash because, first of all, the car's not going to make it. See, with Instacart, you could do just 4 orders a day and make a quota. That's 4 deliveries. DoorDash, to make that amount, I got to do 30 deliveries. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you're on the road too much. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think the car's going to make it. It's already making a weird sound, you know, the vehicle. What's bothering me about that is you can't even talk to nobody. There's nobody to talk to. Everything's an email and an app, and they just freaking, no, we decided we're not going to hear your freaking, what do you call that, dispute, and we have deactivated your account permanently. What the freak is that? That's not even constitutional. freaking illegal, right?
Are you
So he
driving
broke the circle.
American vehicle? Brand of vehicle are you using, Neil?
What's that?
That's right, Jin.
Oh, sorry, it's Rajan. I thought it was Neil. Not Neil, no.
Yeah, it's me, but I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said, what are you using? Or Japanese or what?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. I couldn't understand that.
Are you using a vehicle?
I have a Nissan Pathfinder 2008.
Okay, the vehicle is, I've got a Nissan 1996, no trouble at all. So that's quite unusual. It's very unusual.
Very unusual.
Yeah, they're really Japanese vehicles. Mine is 90, nothing got wrong with it, except for the regular wearing out of parts. So, and it's now coming up at 29 years old. So, you know.
The only good, the only good
Unusual.
Japanese vehicles, hold on, the only good Japanese makers is the Toyota and the Honda. Everything else
And
is
the
not,
Nissan.
it's not a Toyota or a Honda. That means Nissan, that means Hyundai, that means Kia.
No,
They're Korean.
it's not my experience. Nissan,
Yeah, Kia's Korean,
you know,
correct.
that's Nissan.
So is
Nissan used to be Datsun, and they were a very reliable brand indeed. Engine-wise, bodywork was a bit rough, tend to rust. You know, they're still good. I'm not complaining. So no, yes, definitely brilliant. Yes, this is pretty good as well. And
Yes. I'm glad we did this. But with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.